let me ask you a fundamental question that is connected to your overall physical and mental health. When was the last time you got enough sleep to function at your optimal level? Well, if you're like many Americans today, you may not like the answer to the question I just posed to you, according to the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention. Approximately 1 in 3 U.S. adults do not get enough sleep. This translates to approximately 35% of Americans getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night. Sleep deprivation can negatively affect your mental health and your cognitive functioning, and can lead to an increased risk of heart disease and diabetes. Well, let me ask you a follow-up question to the one I just composed. Did you ever think that the quality of your mattress can help to elevate the quality of your sleep and maximize your productivity each and every morning that you wake up? Have you ever felt that correlation could play a part? And if you're pondering and saying, well, I haven't, perhaps you should. And for my friend Derek Hales, he's put that theory and question to the ultimate test. He's a professional mattress tester with over 10 years of experience. He's tested over 400 mattresses. He's the founder and editor-in-chief of naplab.com. It's a platform that tests and reviews mattresses using a battery of objective tests, which are data-driven. His reviews and recommendations helps his readers to quickly identify mattresses that are well suited for their needs, preferences, and budgets. He's been featured on ABC's The Tamron Hales Show, Freakonomics, CBS News, and ESPN, just to name a few. And Hales joined me this week to tell me more about how to find, locate, and purchase the right mattress at the right time using the right test. I'm Kevin McShann. Let's have this conversation. If you're ready, I'll take a moment to welcome you to the program, my friend, and I'm super excited to learn all about NavLab this morning. Great to see you, and happy Wednesday to you, my friend.
Absolutely, that sounds great. Happy Wednesday to you as well.
Absolutely. Now, Derek, I know you're the founder and CEO of NavLab, which is a platform that uses data-driven tests to test out mattresses to make sure that we're all sleeping on the ideal mattress, my friend. So tell me about the platform, your work, my friend, and what makes you so fabulous.
Sure. So at NapLab, our objective is to, really take the mystery and the confusion out of the mattress shopping process. So at NapLab, we complete a battery of 10 objective and data-driven tests. The tests are designed to really objectively show which mattresses perform better than others. So we're looking at cooling, motion transfer, edge performance, pressure relief, and other factors that are important to sleepers, trying to demonstrate and expose those using quantifiable data and information and ratings to help consumers really understand what's going on in the mattress, take the mystery out, and ultimately just make a more informed purchasing decision.
Absolutely. So, Derek, let's talk about what makes a great mattress for a particular person. I know that you've reviewed over 400 mattresses in your career, and I'm sure you hear from a variety of sleepers about what they should be looking for in a mattress. So, tell me about the questions you think people should be asking themselves when they shop for mattresses, my friend.
Sure. So one of the big ones is certainly mattress type. And this is one that some people have a really strong view on and others don't. If you have already tried mattresses, slept on a certain mattress type so that you know you really like or really dislike, let's say memory foam or latex or coils, that can quickly help to sort of guide your search. Another big factor is just what position do you sleep in? Some positions, namely stomach and back, need a little bit more support, a little bit firmer feel in many cases, whereas side sleepers tend to need a little bit more of that medium feel, sometimes a softer feel, so that it helps to create the neutral spinal alignment. In the case of all those sleep positions, it really is just trying to match the support, firmness, and feel with the needs of that sleeping position. In addition, budget is, of course, a big one. I think a lot of people are really confused as like how much should you spend on a mattress, because you've got beds that are as expensive as $10,000 out there, and then you've got beds on Amazon that are as cheap as 150 or $200. Well, you definitely don't need to spend $10,000. Spending $1,500 to $2,000 USD for a queen size, I think, is kind of the sweet spot where you really maximize quality and the materials in that mattress and maximize performance while keeping the price at a minimum. As you get more than that, you really start to see sort of diminishing returns stepping up. If you can spend at least $1,000, that's going to be a markedly better mattress than mattresses that are, $100, $200, $300. So I think those are definitely the biggest factors that I try to get people to consider and think about when purchasing a bed.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, just out of personal curiosity, buddy, what got you into this line of work? Why is this line of work your passion and your purpose, my friend? I'm curious to know your answer there.
It was really, really by accident, but it all started when I just needed a new mattress myself. So my wife and I had gotten married in 2014. We were sleeping on my old school inner spring mattress that was something like 10 years old at the time. So we were quickly in the market for a new bed. We did kind of the whole in-store experience. Went into a mattress store. We found plenty of models that we liked, but they're $4,000, $5,000, $6,000. We're a newly married couple with no money to speak of and pretty frugal people at that. So we ended up taking a chance on these new online mattresses that were kind of just getting started in 2014. We ordered one, wasn't a great fit, returned that, ordered another one, and it was a little bit better. And so I finished this sort of shopping experience, having done the whole in-store thing, having now essentially tested 2 mattresses in my apartment. And I took kind of all that. I put up a website over a weekend. We did some reviews, some comparisons. I kind of put my notes and experiences out onto this website. And, it just blew up. And we started getting tons of requests for more reviews. People wanted us to test other beds and other brands. So we continued to expand our testing and tried to create, just really informative and helpful reviews. And, fast forward to nearly 11 years now, and we've tested something like 430 mattresses.
Well, sometimes prosperity happens by accident, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of those things where I didn't set out to create, the mattress empire or anything like that. Really, it was just kind of like a fun hobby project over a weekend. Just wanted to kind of build a website for fun. And I think, God kind of just dropped this, like 1,000 bricks on top of me. And, we had this thing that people were liking, people found helpful, and it was able to help my wife and I sort of leave corporate America. So it was really a tremendous blessing, and we feel very fortunate to really be able to do what we do.
Yeah, absolutely, my friend. And Derek, I know that you've probably heard a million sleep experience stories, my friend, from people who read your publication or who you run into personally, but so I'm wondering if you could share with me some of the more interesting stories that you've heard about American sleeping experiences, buddy. Tell me more. I'm fascinated.
Well, the experience that gets shared with me more often than not are the negative ones. So it's people are emailing me, telling me about sort of all of the terrible things that are going on with their current mattress. It's uncomfortable. It doesn't create enough support. It's too firm. It's too soft. It's too this. It's too that. Or they have a certain sort of set of pain points, chronic health conditions that make sleeping more difficult. So trying to sort of diagnose that and really understand, all right, well, what type of mattress can meet this individual sleeper's needs is really what we try to do, and try to help them cut through sort of all the sort of marketing speak that a lot of these brands put in their mattress, and get down to just like the bottom line. Like, all right, this person, they sleep in this position, their body weight is such, their body type is this, they have this particular health condition, and then match that to a mattress that feels like it's going to meet their needs.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned you transitioned out of corporate America to start this endeavor, my friend. So I'm curious to ask you about the transition and what you've learned most about yourself as an entrepreneur. What would you say there, my friend?
That's a good question. I found the transition to not be terribly difficult. I think I've always kind of had more of an entrepreneurial mindset, and so spending 4 years in corporate America was a much harder transition for me. There's a lot of restriction, there's a lot of restraint, there's a lot of control. There's just so much that you're not able to do. You're just sort of regulated by the guardrails of the system and what the company wants, what the agency wants, what the brand and clients want. So being able to just be back and sort of run my own show was far easier in my view, because I was able to do things that the way I thought that they should have been done. Build the website, create our reviews, build our testing protocols in a way that is truly best and is not restrained by all of these sort of external factors. So I think the biggest challenge has just been creating some divisions between work life and sort of home life. And so in the early days, we were working just right out of our apartment, sort of little kitchen off to the side. So I had set up an office in there. And so it's really easy in that sort of environment to just work constantly, because the same place that we have dinner and sleep and play is also the same place that I work and run the business. So creating, more sort of, let's say, just physical separation spaces to, like, this is where I'm working, and then here's my home life, my personal life, and then creating just the time separation as well, where I'm going to work between 8 and 5:30, and after 5:30 I have to stop, because it's just so easy to, again, work all the time and let just that stress will sort of slowly build. And it was definitely sort of eating away at me, to the point that I had to really work hard to create some strong division of work-life balance.
Everything in balance, right? It's a difficult concept, but it's something that we all have to strike the right chord with, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely. And Derek, I know that you've been featured on the Tamron show, ESPN, CBS News, and Freakonomics, my friend. So tell me about how the increased visibility has helped you really grow this brand, buddy. What are your thoughts there?
Well, certainly, being in those places, being talked about by major publications and network and media is always great, because it's it's an immediate sort of increase in traffic. People see the stories there, see the pieces there, see the videos there, and then come to us. And we've been able to, sort of build foundationally on that, as opposed to sort of a one-time spike. It gets just sort of our brand, being discussed. People know NapLab. People look to NapLab for guidance, for reviews, for help. And so it's definitely helped us just be more in the conversation when people are looking for a new mattress. So I think that's the biggest impact that we've seen from being able to get exposure in those places.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know on your website, my friend, to help people through this process, you'll have them take a quiz, buddy, to make sure that they know what they're looking for. So can you tell me about the quiz and how it works?
Absolutely. So we have a personalized mattress finder quiz. That quiz has got 12 or so questions on it. You go in there, you enter your needs, your preferences, your budget, sleeping position, body weight, other factors that help me better understand specifically what's going on for you. I take all your information that goes straight to me. I look at that and compare it against every mattress I've tested, and then use that to match you with a mattress that meets your needs, preferences, and budget the best. And I send that back to my readers within 24 hours.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, I'm also curious to get your thoughts on the whole idea of entrepreneurship as a means for prosperity, my friend. I talk to business owners all the time about diversity, equity, and inclusion in business for people with disabilities. But more broadly, I'm curious to get your thoughts on how entrepreneurship can open up doors of possibilities and prosperity for people with disabilities and beyond. What are your thoughts there, my friend?
I think definitely when we look at what being your own sort of business owner could be, what being an entrepreneur could be, compare that to sort of the corporate world. I think it's one of freedom and possibility, whereas sort of corporate America is very structured and rigid and defined. And even when corporate America has been accessible and more flexible for people with disabilities, comparing it to the other side of the equation where you're an entrepreneur and the sky is really the limit. So whether I just think being able to make your own choices and structure a business, structure a work-life balance, structure what you're creating to suit the specific needs of the creator, and then try to meet the needs of your customers is always going to provide a greater level of accessibility and flexibility than working at a sort of a big business, big corporate America type structure.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Derek, I'm also curious to ask you, when do you think people should consider replacing their mattress? When do you think people should know when it's time to upgrade or move on from their current mattress? What are your thoughts there?
So I think the big thing is just to ask yourself, what's going on in your body? Are you waking up feeling rested, or are you waking up feeling unrested, feeling tired? Do you go to sleep without pain and then wake up with pain? Because then we know it's probably something going on in the mattress. If you have pain before and pain and when you wake up, that's maybe something different. But really look to your body, look to how rested or not rested you're feeling, and try to compare that to what was going on maybe in the previous 6 months or the previous year or a couple of years ago. And that can give you a good indicator on if that mattress is still a good fit for your body, if that mattress is holding up well in terms of durability and longevity. More generally speaking, we look to sort of like 8 to 10 years is what we hope most quality mattresses and what most mattresses are sort of designed to last. So if your mattress is substantially older than that, it may be time to upgrade as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And, I wanted to also ask you how a quality night's sleep is affecting our mental health, and what role you think the quality of our mattress plays in that equation. What are your thoughts there, my friend?
I mean, quality sleep is everything. It is how the body restores itself. It is how the body heals itself. When you don't receive quality sleep, your physical health, your mental health, your emotional health, your stress levels, all of that is going to suffer. So sleep really is the foundation of health in human beings. So making sure that you have a mattress that allows you to sleep deeply, to sleep fully, to sleep a full 7 to 8 hours a night, that's going to ensure that your body is able to actually restore and heal itself. When your mattress doesn't meet your individual comfort preferences or your support needs, then often your sleep is going to suffer. You're going to get less sleep, again, sleep that isn't as deep, sleep that isn't as restorative, which is then going to have an impact on your health, including your mental health. So it really is sort of a feedback loop where good mattress creates good sleep, which creates good health, which creates good, mental patterns, and all those sort of just kind of go around in a circle.
Yeah, I wanted your thoughts on this. Last year, the National Institute of Health reported that 7 to 19% of Americans in America report not getting enough sleep, and 40% of adults admit that they fall asleep during the day at least once a day, my friend. And I'm wondering your thoughts on those statistics and also, it also says that at least once a month, 50 to 70 million Americans suffer from chronic sleep disorders, my friend. So I'm curious, what comes to mind when you immediately hear those statistics, my friend?
I think it makes perfect sense, especially for Americans, where the culture is so focused on work and obligation and kids and getting ahead and success. The sleep just feels like sort of an annoying requirement that must happen at the end of the day. So I think it's very easy for people to go to bed a little bit later, get up a little bit earlier, or otherwise try to sort of carve a few extra hours out of their day by taking from their sleep schedule. And so I think that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, absolutely. And, Derek, I also know that you help your readers with sort of how to improve their sleep as it relates to their bedroom setup and giving them tips to relax, my friend. So, from your perspective, how important is bedroom setup, and what sort of a roadmap should people follow when setting up their bedroom to optimize their sleep, my friend?
Sure. So I think it's one of those things where it's once you got the basics, there's not a whole lot you're going to see to improve beyond that. But the basics are critical, and it really is almost as simple as noise and light. We want to reduce noise as low as possible. We want to reduce light as low as possible. So curtain shades, blackout curtains, anything that is taking the light out of your room. If you have alarm clocks, cell phones with the face up, TVs, lamps, night lights, any of that is going to create extra light. Study after study after study has shown that the darker a sleep environment, the better. So do everything you can to make your room as dark as possible. And the same is essentially true for the noise side of the equation. Again, study after study has shown any increase in noise is likely to create worse sleep. So whatever we can do to reduce the noise. So again, those thick blackout curtains can help reduce noise from the outside. You'll have little sort of slider seals that can go under doors that can help reduce noise coming in from on the other side of the door. Anything within your room making noise, again, alarm clocks, cell phones, televisions can be problematic as well. There is evidence to support that white noise coming from noise machines, ceiling fans, floor fans can help to sort of reduce that because it creates sort of like a baseline level of noise that the brain ignores. And that baseline essentially helps to almost try to blanket so that when there are sort of external noise spikes, they don't exceed this sort of noise blanket on top of you. If you can sleep without those aids, I think that's ideal. But if there's just too much noise from outside your building or just outside your bedroom that you can't control, I think a noise machine that creates white noise can definitely help as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, can I also ask you about sort of creating reliable nighttime habits in terms of the patterns we follow when we go to bed, or the habits that we follow when we go to bed, and how important establishing a consistent nighttime, getting ready for bed habits are in this equation. What are your thoughts there?
Yeah, I think developing a good sleep schedule, a good sleep habit is key. Being able to go to bed at essentially the same time, wake up at essentially the same time, helps to maintain a good rhythm, helps you to go to sleep quickly, to stay asleep, and to wake up feeling more refreshed. I think it's really easy, especially for people in their 20s, to have a more sort of sporadic schedule where you don't feel like you need to go to bed at a certain time. You're waking up super late or super early, depending on whether you have to go to work or school and what have you. But I think the more you can develop that schedule, the better. All the sort of the data, the studies that we see in this area, again, points to the schedule being incredibly beneficial. And so the more that we can, again, develop a good habit and a good routine where, you start getting ready for bed at a certain time, you do X, Y, and Z, you stop, using your phone by this time, that's going to help you maintain a more consistent sleep schedule and create just sleep that is deeper and more restorative as well.
Yeah, I'm also curious, Derek, to ask you about whether you hear from the readers that read your platform about improving their posture or daily habits within their personal lives that are directly related to how they sleep and the quality of sleep that they're getting. So I'm curious, when you talk to people who read your publication or out in public about, improving their posture and improving other areas of how they function in their daily life, I'm curious to ask you, what are people telling you about how all of this is related to how they sleep? What are your thoughts there?
Proper support on the mattress and improper posture that creates the pains. And so what they know is my back hurts, my hip hurts, my shoulders hurt. How can I fix this? And then I try and then look at, what they've told me about the pains in their body and then match that back up. Okay, well, I know this person needs a mattress that's firmer or softer, needs support in these specific areas, might need a pillow to create that consistent sort of posture alignment from, the neck all the way down to the bottom of the spine. And so it's really trying to kind of go the opposite way around. So I think a lot of people don't really think about the sort of, mechanics of body support as much. They just think about what's the pains and the issues they have. And it's really my job to sort of, match up. All right, well, what is the right support dynamic that's going to reduce the pain? Sure. So I really don't often hear from my readers regarding posture. And instead, they're more concerned with what's going on with their body, their specific pains, pressure relief issues. They have, pains in their hip, pains in their back, pains in their lower back, pains in their neck. And so it's then my job, I think, to really try and, match a mattress that best meets those specific pain issues and is able to reduce those. And so that really kind of comes down to, looking at their pain profile, looking at their preferences, their needs, their body type, and their weight, and then matching that with a mattress that I know, okay, this mattress is going to provide enough support for the back. It's going to bring those hips into alignment. It's going to create enough support under the neck so that we are able to then create basically a support system, support structure that's able then to reduce those pains that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, you also talk to your readers and the people you interact with about accessories that go along with a mattress, whether it be a pillow, whether it be sheets, whether it be the type of mattress they should be using for their particular needs. So talk to me about the importance of accessories and the questions people should be asking themselves when trying to match their mattress with the appropriate accessories. What are your thoughts there, my friend?
Sure. So I think there are really sort of three critical accessories. We have pillow, we have sheets, and then we have the frame or foundation. So on the pillow side, this really is almost an extension of the mattress because of the type of support and comfort that it's going to create. A poor pillow on a great mattress can still lead to poor sleep. So we really want to make sure we have a pillow that meets your specific needs. If you are a side sleeper, you generally want a pillow that's a little bit taller. This is it's going to appropriately fill the space here between the neck and create just enough support so that the head, shoulders, body, and spine stays in alignment while laying on the side of the body. For back sleepers, you want something that generally that's a medium height, and stomach sleepers want something that's the absolute lowest height. And each of these sort of height requirements is just designed to make sure we keep that spine in a neutral alignment. Next up, we have sheets. Sheets, the big thing, beyond just sort of comfort and feel, comes down to cooling. Not all sheets are going to have the same level of cooling performance. If you are a super sensitive sleeper, you sleep hot, you have to have the absolute coolest sheets on the market, you're going to need to spend, $200 to $300 on a quality set of sheets to create that level of breathability and cooling that you need. Again, even if you have an amazing mattress, but a mediocre set of sheets, those sheets are what's touching your skin. And so we need to get something that is going to meet your comfort needs. Cooling, much like, light and noise, is so critical for sleepers as well. There's another one where study after study has shown those people that sleep cooler, sleep deeper, get more restorative sleep, and stay asleep longer. So we do want to make sure that we're meeting the cooling needs. Last, but certainly not least, the frame or foundation. I say frame or foundation because some frames are also a foundation, but not all. If you've sort of like the classic metal frame you see with sort of nothing in the middle of it, and you have to put a box spring on top of it, the box spring is the foundation. A foundation in this is just what is supporting the mattress. And so we want to make sure we have a foundation, a box spring, a platform, slats, adjustable, whatever type you have that creates enough support for that mattress. Foundations that have more support, that are higher quality, are going to create more support for the mattress, which is going to create more support for the body. Again, this is where even an amazing mattress on a mid-level frame foundation is not going to create as good of support. So spend a little bit of extra money to get that nice frame foundation to better support the mattress, to better support the body. And it's also going to lead to just better longevity and durability for the mattress. When we have frame foundations that have really wide gaps between slats or the support structures, that creates an opportunity for sagging and body impressions to form more quickly and to form more deeply. So again, getting that higher end foundation is going to make that mattress last longer and lead to better performance.
Yeah, and I know, Derek, based on your success, you've got some advice for anyone that wants to start a startup when it comes to navigating entrepreneurship, whether it's website development, whether it's business planning, whether it's SEO optimization. So I'm curious, what's your best piece of advice for anyone wanting this, who wants to start their own small business or a startup? What's your best piece of advice to maximize success, my friend?
I think my biggest and best advice is simply start. Over the years, I have had so many friends, family members, colleagues, others come to me with their ideas. They have thoughts on, they want to do this, they want to create that, they want to build that. And they just can never seem to take that first step to really get building. It's always kind of on the sidelines. It never becomes the thing that they've envisioned in their mind. I think so many people struggle in this area because it's hard feeling like you don't have the complete picture or plan of where you're going. But trust me, you, at least in my experience and what I've seen, you're never going to have that complete picture. I looked at sort of what I knew and who I was in 2014 and what I built in that first year. And while I'm proud of what we built, it is, terrible, quite frankly, compared to what we built today. Every day you'll grow and learn, every week, every month, every year. So take that first step. Understand that you're not going to have the full picture. You're not going to have the full plan. You are going to make mistakes, and that's okay. I would much rather be making mistakes along the way and leading and then taking sort of gradual step-by-step improvements than trying to sort of create this perfect thing on the sideline. And so my biggest piece of advice is just be willing to take that first step, be willing and ready to make mistakes, and do what you can to improve a little bit each day. And that's going to lead to, I think, a much better outcome in the long term.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, this is a personal curiosity. I'm curious to ask you, from a business and a societal life perspective, what do you think the concept of diversity and inclusion means in business? What does that mean to you, my friend?
Yeah, I think it's a good question. And I think you look at kind of what's going on in the U.S. right now. It's it's kind of all being upended. And we've seen, not only on the government side, but major corporations sort of, tossing out, their DEI programs. But I think it's something where there's a deep divide in America over this issue and sort of, sort of on one side viewing, wants sort of perfect meritocracy, and the other side, believes in the benefits of these DEI programs. I guess I personally, I don't know. I look at, different examples, whether it's a government or a business, and you see where it's done really well. And then you see examples where, you question whether it was an effective program or not. I think, like in so many cases, it really depends on the implementation. I think when it is implemented effectively and with good, management, I think it can definitely have a benefit to the organizations that utilize it. But I think there's no question it is a hot political issue in the U.S. right now, and more broadly around the globe as well.
Yeah, and I'm curious, Derek, where did the name NAP come from? How did you settle on that name as the name for your business and publication, my friend?
So it kind of started with an Excel sheet. I wanted the brand to be a sleep word and then some sort of place or noun. And so we concatenated tens of thousands of places with every sort of conceivable sleep word to see what we could come up with. I felt like that was just going to create sort of an interesting logo, an interesting image in people's mind. Sleep, of course, we wanted something that people understand what we do. And then sort of the noun side is just something to sort of, tie to an interesting place. And it just so happened that we were able to find and purchase, naplab.com. And it was just ideal because it was what we wanted to do anyway. We wanted to do, objective data-driven tests, just like they would do in a laboratory. And of course, NAP is the perfect, short, simple, sweet word that describes sleep alongside that noun. So that was kind of our process for choosing the NAP Lab name.
Yeah, and I'm also curious because you said you work on this with your wife, my friend. So tell me about working with your spouse, the good, the bad, and the ugly wife. For what do you think people need to know about doing that successfully in your view, my friend?
Yeah, working with a spouse is undoubtedly difficult, and I think my wife would say the same thing. When we first started working together in 2015, we were definitely butting heads a lot more. I think we both kind of had different ideas about what we should do, how we should work together, and so we've had to really develop kind of a division of labor between us. And so we tried to each sort of work on our own projects, and we come to each other for advice and decision making and decide, okay, here's how we're going to do. But then we kind of break back off to sort of each tackle different sides of the business. So that has certainly worked well for us. I think when we do come together to more closely work on the same types of projects, one of us will defer to the other to lead that project. And so I think this is a thing where different couples could have different experiences. For us, that sort of, firmer sort of division of labor definitely helped and created just a better balance. I mean, nobody wants to, be fighting at work with, a spouse about, the particular direction of a project. And so we really had to work hard to create that balance and create just that mutual understanding.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, I've got two questions left for you, my friend. And the first has to do with sleep and how it's connected to our mental health. I'll use myself as an example, Derek. Earlier in January, I went to the doctor, and my blood pressure was elevated. And one of the first questions my doctor asked me is, how much sleep are you getting during the course of the night? And I had to be honest, and I told her I get less than 6 on most nights. So I have to tell you that I got a wake-up call when it came to how elevated my blood pressure was and how it's connected to sleep. So I'm wondering your thoughts on how a quality night's sleep is also connected to our physical and mental health. What are your thoughts there, my friend?
Well, I'm certainly, no doctor, no scientist in this respect, but I've read plenty of the studies, plenty of the research, and it is numerous. There is a clear connection between sleep and health. And by health, I mean physical, mental, emotional. When we sleep, we restore our bodies. We heal our bodies. When we don't get enough sleep, that healing, that restoration that's supposed to happen during the night doesn't happen. And that can then manifest with, things like you have, or high blood pressure. It can lead to higher levels of stress. It can lead to higher levels of just emotionality and inability to regulate emotions during the day. So there is, I don't think, anything more essential, more critical to our overall health and well-being than making sure we get a full rested night of sleep.
Yeah, absolutely. And Derek, my final question for you this morning has to do with life and legacy, my friend, and how you want your life and your legacy to be defined. And outside of work, buddy, what gives you passion and purpose? What are your thoughts there?
That's a great question. When I look back on my life, I hope I'll be able to see a life well lived, a life where my occupation and what I sort of did with my life was able to help people, to improve the lives of not just the people in my family, people I work with, but the people that came in contact with me, the people that I was able to help through NapLab. I hope that my reviews, that my recommendations, that what I've sort of spent the last 11 years building is able to improve the lives of the people that visit my website. I hope people will look and think on me as somebody who was a helper more than anything.
Absolutely. And just outside of work, buddy, what brings you passion and purpose when you close the laptop or leave the office for the day, my friend?
Well, when I'm done working for the day, I spend most of my hours with just my wife and kids. So I've got two young kids that are 3 and 6 years old. So they keep me plenty busy, running around, playing games, riding scooters, playing soccer. So that's a good chunk of my non-work hours.
Absolutely. They keep you energetic and young, don't they?
Absolutely, yeah.
Absolutely, my friend. And tell me, Derek, finally, if people want to get connected with NapLab or yourself, what's the best way they can do that?
The best way is visit us over at naplab.com. That's NAPLAB. There we have all of our reviews, comparisons, best of guides, and a whole lot more. In addition, we have our Mattress Finder quiz. You answer a few quick questions about your needs and preferences. That goes straight to me, and I'll send you back a personalized recommendation within 24 hours.
Fabulous, my friend. Well, I want to thank you for the work that you've done to help Americans elevate their sleeping experiences, their experiences with mattresses, and their overall health, my friend. The work that you're doing is truly innovative, and I want to thank you for engaging in conversation with me this morning. It's most appreciated.
All right, well, it's my pleasure. Thank you so much for having me on the show.